What's going on, everybody? I just want to talk to you really quick about why Jon Jones is going to save the UFC. He's going to be the new hero, the unlikely villain turned into a good guy for the UFC. And the reason is very obvious. With Francis Ngannou leaving, all right, he's leaving. Let's be honest about it. Yes, he's going to get knee surgery. That's going to be probably a 9 to 12 month recovery time. So they'll be able to hide behind that. Okay, he's recovering. But what's really going on is he's just riding out the end of his unfair contract so that he can be a free agent. He can go box and make millions against a Tyson Fury, and I don't blame him at all. He's in his prime. He's like a superhero. He's full of charisma. He has it all. He's dynamite. He's like our, when I say our, I'm talking about MMA fans. He's like our Mike Tyson, right? He has everything. He has the charisma, personality, the knockout power. He looks like he's chiseled out of the Rock of Gibraltar. Ngannou has everything that you would want in your top fighter, heavyweight. Right? He looks like he could be a X-Men character, but as himself. Right? He doesn't need a costume or anything. He could just walk in on the set and be one of the X-Men. Right? He has everything. So to me, it's sad that the UFC, to find out he only made $600,000 for the fight, but their business, they're gonna do what they have to do, and hopefully, they're able to figure it out down the road. But Ngannou has every right to try to maximize his value because he is the number one commodity as far as fighting is concerned, right? Because he is not only a champion, but he's a champion in the top division, right? Being the heavyweight champion is not the same as being champion at 125 or 135 like Henry Cejudo or somebody like that. They're not going to get as much respect because the average guy on the street that's 230 pounds says, you know what, I could take Henry Cejudo and throw him across the street or something like that. That may be true, it may be not, but that's like the thought process. There's nobody saying, oh, I can go beat, there's nobody sitting in their living room with the remote control. Yeah, I can beat up Francis Ngannou, right? The heavyweight champion always carried that level of respect as the baddest man on the planet, going back to the boxing heydays with Dempsey, Liston, George Foreman, all those guys, Ali, Frazier, what have you, Tyson. And Ngannou is like that right now for MMA. All right? Stipe was a great champion, but he didn't have the charisma. He didn't have the personality, and he didn't have the physicality of Ngannou. All right? He had that more of like humble, Midwestern, hard-working, just keep your nose to the, to the grindstone type approach. That hard working, I'm just a guy next door. I just, that's all I want to be. And that's fine. But he didn't have the charisma of that Ngannou had. That superstar status. It's just something about Ngannou. He just had something, that it factor. All right? So now, with him leaving, it's a tremendous blow to the UFC. Because they're going to have to, at some point, have an intern champion. Now, we've seen these debacles with these intern championships in the past. Because they're not viewed as legitimate. When Jon Jones popped for PEDs and Daniel Cormier was given the interim light heavyweight title, did anyone believe, like, okay, Daniel Cormier is the champion? All respect to DC. It's just that, like they say, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Nobody beat the man. It's the same when Blachowicz became champion. It was like, all right, He became champion, but Jon Jones vacated the title after 10 years. That is crazy. Like, if the be champion for 10, Jon Jones had to basically just walk away. Like, okay, nobody can beat me, and he walked away from the title. He put together so many defenses, he had to walk away. And just think, since Jon Jones is left, Blachowicz has been the champion, and we already got a new champion already. Jon Jones held the title all those years, and already since Jon Jones left, we had 2 champions already, and Glover, Teixeira, and Blachowicz. So the interim championship, it takes away the legitimacy of the title, right? The only time you can respect the interim championship is like, okay, in case of an injury, the champion is out for just so long that he's holding up the division, you got to move on. All right, I understand that. Like, you know, like what happened when Khabib wound up fighting Al Iaquinta, right? We knew that wasn't like really legit, but everybody knew how good Khabib was. And of course, Khabib later on proved that he was like a legit champion. But when they created a intern championship for Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis, that was ridiculous. Because first of all, it only had been like 4 months since Ngannou had won the title. Then they created an interim championship already. So now that all of the news has come out, we now know what was going on behind the scenes. They're having these negotiation issues, trying to coerce Ngannou into signing the new long-term contract. And they were hoping to God that he lost to Cyril Gane, right? So that they can just kind of push him to the side and move on with Cyril. But it wasn't meant to be, and Ngannou maintained his title. So now Ngannou's going to ride, he bet on himself and won big time. And now he's going to go off. He's going to heal, get his surgery, heal himself, get healed up, and go for the big payday as he should. As he should. Right? If you can make millions of dollars like Conor McGregor did when he fought Floyd Mayweather, why wouldn't you do it? So of course Ngannou's going to do that. But now you're going to have a void in the heavyweight division. Who's the champion? You can't put Stipe there because Stipe just got knocked out cold. He just got knocked out cold by Ngannou. You can't put Stipe there. So who else? Derek Lewis just lost to Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane just lost to Francis Ngannou. There's no one else that could legitimately wrap that belt around their waist that the fans are going to respect, because at the end of the day, it is about the fans. How come you think Aljamain Sterling is not being pushed as much as champion, even though he's the champion and he's a legitimate champion, because within the rules of the octagon he became the champion, but nobody that's a real fan respects that, because the way the fight was going beforehand. Now, if Aljamain Sterling was winning big time and doing this thing, and then he was fouled, then people will respect that title more. But he was losing. He was putting forth a valiant effort. All respect to Aljamain, but he was getting beat up, and everybody saw the trajectory of the fight. And then that happened, and then people say he was acting and all that stuff. Hey, I have nothing to say about that. It is what it is. We saw what we saw, but at the end of the day, the fans don't really respect that title and want to see the rematch. The only way that can really be respected is Aljamain has to come in the rematch and defeat Peter Yan. So these interim titles are funny. So UFC has to be very careful with who they pick. You can't just have, say, like Stipe versus Derek Lewis, or Jake Collier versus Stipe, and just throw he's the champion, because no matter what, Ngannou is gonna be viewed as the man. Just like Jon Jones. Yeah, you could put Gustafsson and Cormier in the ring, say that's for the title. People are looking over here. No, the champion's over there. Jon Jones is over there. You could put Cormier versus Rumble Johnson, again, that's just like serves as a placeholder. Nobody respected that. The only way the UFC is gonna have respect for the heavyweight title is you have Jon Jones with the heavyweight strap around his belt. Why? Because Jon Jones has never been defeated. Right? Yeah, please don't mention the fight versus Matt Hamill, please. That's not a loss. Right? That's like this rule discrepancy, 12-6 elbow nonsense. Please. We've never seen Jon Jones KO submitted, flat on his back, losing in the last round. Okay? People want to say, oh, he lost the Dominic Reyes fight. It was a close fight. The judges ruled that he didn't lose that fight. And besides, it was a bad look for Dominic Reyes to be getting chased around and beat up and fading really bad in those last 2 rounds. So, to me, I'm old school. I believe that to beat the champ, you got to take the title. Not running from the champ and then get awarded the title at the end. So, that's my take on that. But Jon Jones is the only one that the fans will respect as the title holder, because that's the only one they can legitimately question. Can Ngannou beat Jones? That's a question, like, that you seriously have to think about, because Jon Jones has never been defeated, and yes, he's not been a heavyweight, but now he's up. He's got his weight up. He's had time to put his muscle on, etc., etc. So that's all the UFC can ask for at this point, is to have a champion that the fans will actually respect. And Jon Jones is the only one that fits that criteria. Jon Jones is the only one that the fans will say, I don't know if Ngannou could beat him when he comes back. All these other dudes, everybody, it's either been done already or there's not even a question. All the other heavyweights, Ngannou's either knocked him out or they're not even in the picture. Right? He's already beat Ngannou. Okay, that was like the last question. Like, can Ngannou beat this undefeated, hungry guy he used to train with, etc., etc. So he beat him, and then find out he was on a bad knee. All right, so that's my take on that. Like I said, Jon Jones, I don't know who they're gonna match with him for the interim title. I'm thinking Stipe. There's like talks, because Stipe, right, is the last champion before Ngannou, and I really can't think of anyone else that again Cyril Gane, somebody like that. But he just fought, so I think the UFC is going to try to move quickly to get an intern championship in there. So Cyril Gane, since he just fought, I don't think they're just gonna bring him back and be like, okay, you fight Jon Jones, even though that would be a great matchup. All right, but again, would Cyril Gane have enough time to improve on his grappling enough to deal with Jon Jones? Because I think that Jon Jones' grappling would be too much for Cyril Gane after seeing that Ngannou fight. So, besides that, it would just be too quick of a turnaround. Where Stipe's been waiting, on the shelf, former champion, and it seems like the right thing to do. And again, Jon Jones been on the bench so long, and to me, this gives Jon Jones a lot of leverage also, because they need Jon Jones right now. Jon Jones is like the anti-hero, man. It's funny because he's been sitting for so long, people kind of forgot about him. I won't say forget about him, but it's kind of like, it's like, okay, when is this guy gonna fight again? But now it's almost like they need him. I know the UFC is like, we need you, Jon, to come back, because he is the only one that carries that weight and respect. Because you can't have a title that doesn't carry the respect. Because then you become like the other organizations, right? Nobody looks at the Bellator heavyweight champion as, oh yeah, this guy's the heavyweight champion. People like, is Ngannou was the baddest man on the planet. Nobody's saying, oh, Ryan Bader's the baddest man on the planet, or whoever the ONE FC champion is, or professional PFL champion. Nobody's saying they the baddest man on the planet. No, it's saying UFC has the baddest man on the planet. That's how important it is to have the respect of the fans. Okay, and with Ngannou having as much leverage as he has and stepping away, he's taking away the prestige. You could take away the physical belt from him. You can't take away his status as champion. You can't take that away. The people are gonna say that's our champion right there. The only other person that the people are gonna respect with any kind of belt around their waist is Jon Jones. That's my take on that subject. Let me know what you think in the comment box. Please hit that thumbs up button. Let's get this thing going. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm out of here.